Hi guys, welcome to OneUX1. Today I'm answering the question, how do you learn to wireframe? This is one of the biggest challenges people have. How do I learn how I'm going to do all the wireframing, how I'm going to design new applications and websites? So the first thing I'm going to say is learn to trace. Don't learn to wireframe, learn to trace. What do I mean by that? So if you download a free version of Sketch or Figma or InVision or any of the wireframing apps, what you can do is import just a screenshot of any website. You choose the website, screenshot the website and bring it into the application. Once you've done that, I'd like you just to trace it. That's all you need to do. Just trace the website. And what I mean by that is just take the tools. Let's say you're going to take a rectangle and take the shape of the rectangle and take it over any of the rectangles on that website. And what you're going to learn is to build confidence, because wireframing, before it's even a skill, you need the confidence to believe that you can do it. And I find a lot of people, I feel scared and intimidated by the amazing designs that they see and all the wireframes they see, and they think, how am I going to do that? I have no experience of it. Now, if you're a graphic designer, it's going to be a lot easier for you because you're already used to a lot of the components and you have that experience. Now, if you have no experience of wireframing or graphic designing, it's a bit of a steeper learning curve. But when you start doing the framing, you'll build confidence because you're literally copying or tracing like a kid does at school when they trace something. So you're tracing to see if you can start to copy the shapes initially. And then you can add in text and you start to see that you start to form a page design or an application design. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing is start to download lots and lots of free UI kits, and I'm sharing some links below. And don't forget also, I have a lot of free ebooks and PDFs for you to download as guides, so you can use those as well to help you. So when you look at a UI kit that you can download online, there's lots of websites where you get free user interface kits, and you just import them into Sketch or Figma and you get ready-made designs. Why they're helpful? Because obviously you haven't designed them yet, but they're helpful because you can play around with them. You can edit colors, change the shapes, change the sizes, and use those to your own benefit of gaining that experience. So the UI kits are really, really useful, and they're free, and the components are free. The third thing I'd like you to do if you want to learn wireframing is to start to create your own components. So, for example, if you see a feedback tick or an X, anything simple like that, just a simple component like that, try to replicate and make it yourself. So try to build it yourself. There's lots of Figma tutorials, I have some as well, and there's lots on YouTube, and follow those tutorials. So that leads on to my next point. So when you try to create those components, you need a bit of guidance. So go to YouTube and watch lots of videos on tutorials for whichever application you prefer. I prefer Figma, I find it the easiest to use, but you can use Sketch or anything else, Balsamiq, InVision, or any of the others, Adobe XD. You can use any, and you don't need to learn everything initially. What I mean by that is, when you work for an organization, they're going to have their own preference. Now, some employers will allow you to use your own. So if you say, I only like Figma, or that's my preference, or I like Sketch, they may allow you just to use that. And other organizations, they'll say, no, we only use this software. Now that becomes a bit difficult, but don't forget, a lot of the practices are common in the industry. So it will be a bit of a learning curve, but not as steep as learning a brand new software. So yes, if they say we only use InVision, we only use Freehand, we only use Balsamiq, then you'll have to use that. You don't have a choice. But there are some cheats to this as well. Let's say, for example, you're used to Figma. You can actually design in Figma and then import into that application. So you can cheat. You can actually do it in your favorite application and then bring it in and then edit it in the software of your employer's choice. So you can actually do it that way. So it's not the end of the world. There are ways around it. And the good thing is, because you can import and export files, usually they do convert quite well. But just to note, they don't convert perfectly. So when you're trying to convert, it may be difficult because sometimes when I've imported files from other applications, it gets a bit messy and you have to fix it. You have to fix the design. Maybe the text is moved out of place, or it's not imported the correct font, and you have to do a few edits. But you can bring in files, so that's the good news. You are able to do that. And then finally, what I'd like to say about wireframing is, they say practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the better you're going to become. And just play around with it as much as you possibly can. And the more you do it, the better you'll become. It's as simple as that. There's no other hard and fast rule or any shortcuts. Literally, the more you wireframe, the better you'll become. But if you start with what I said in the beginning, tracing and copying, you build your confidence and you'll start to enjoy it. And wireframing is really, really enjoyable, and I really love doing it. And I'm sure if you're into the design, you'll really enjoy it. Because once you start to see that and you start to actually replay it, you're going to see your user experience design. You're going to see those wireframes working. So when you create a click through and you click it and you play the prototype back, you're going to see it actually working. You get a lot of satisfaction. So I hope that was useful to start wireframing. Don't forget, I'll be making more videos on this and on Figma. So don't forget to subscribe and share with others. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you. This is 1UX1, and thank you for watching.